Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fourth Down Fiasco, your go-to podcast for all things football, including the European Football Alliance. If you hear my dogs barking in the background, that's because my wife just walked in. But yes, today we are talking about football because this past weekend, the doubleheader, it was so exciting. This is what European American football is about. Correct, Daniel?
It was absolutely beautiful. Two bangers of a game. I think what you said, the total point differential between both games was like 4 points.
Yeah, 4 points between two games. So
Crazy.
the Prague Tirol game was a 1 point affair, which was nuts.
Yeah.
And then the Munich Nordic affair was 3 points, which was also nuts and both crazy in their own right.
Yeah, and I mean, both honestly came down to, well, one literally came down to both came down to the final second, and basically one team had a chance to win, one team didn't.
Now, Daniel, let me ask you this. If you were the coach of the Nordic Storm and you had 8 seconds left, would you try to take one more shot at the end zone?
It starts before that play.
But I'm asking this play. Would you have, with 8 seconds left, would you have tried to have thrown the ball at least one more time?
8 seconds left, no timeouts. What they said, it was a 42-yard field goal.
39.
39, almost 40. We know how kicking works. The Nordic Storm screen game is unlike anything I've ever seen. It is fantastic. The misdirection they have with the little tight end little seam screen that they kind of do with Miranda, beautiful. You're telling me you couldn't throw a quick out to get an extra 5-10 yards to make it a extra point attempt, basically, because your kicker can make extra points. He just can't make field goals.
Sure. Throw it to the sidelines,
Throw it to the sidelines. And if it's not there, Clark is smart enough to snap the ball, see if his receiver is open. If not, throw it into the stands.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you're in the same situation.
And if he throws it away, he'll throw it away at least close enough to a receiver not to get a flag.
Yeah. It's like you had the time. I understand. I hate kicking field goals on third down, but I understand the reasoning. But that's if you have a timeout. You can't reset the play with 8 seconds left. So if they muff the snap, there's no resetting the play. The game's over. And that's the reason you kick field goals on third down, is in case you get a muff snap, you can fall on the ball and call a timeout. You get a second chance. You don't with no timeouts. So, I didn't understand the play calling there.
Yeah.
The end of the game was just weird. It was, 2nd and 10 with 20 seconds left or whatever. And I understand the attempt to go for the end zone at that point. Bo, I don't know if he was open. It was a weird play. Off his hands. I said it last week. I need to say it again. Every team needs a jugs machine because this game was horrid. Yeah. There were drops all over the place. But you were marching down the field well. You didn't need to take I understood the shot at the end zone. You didn't need to. There was, I believe, I forget who it was, someone right at the sidelines, probably at that 10, 15-yard mark instead of that 25 into the end zone yard mark. He was open. Clark I don't know if he saw him or just wanted to go for the Hail Mary. But then after that play, clock stopped because it was incomplete. And you don't get the play call in time or something, and you have to burn a timeout on a dead ball. And not just a timeout, your last timeout.
Yep. Not a good move.
So, horrible clock management at the end of the game. But one person told me they shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. And I agree. They should have never been down. You're up by 14 2 separate times in this game.
Yeah, in a game where Russell Tabor throws 3 interceptions.
2 and a fumble. Or did he throw 3?
He threw 3.
Oh, yeah, because Glenna had 2. Fedek had 1, and then they had a fumble. They had 4. The turnover differential was -4 for Munich.
Which is wild that Munich still won this game. Oh, man.
Munich throw it away.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that. I would
Actual
say
question: like, did Munich deserve to win this game, or did Nordic throw it away?
I wouldn't say Nordic threw it away. I would say Nordic took their foot off the gas.
Did they? I don't like the play calling didn't seem to change.
I don't know. I mean, I do think that there was definitely some tightening up that happened on Munich's end, especially on the defensive ends, because they couldn't stop a nosebleed. Granted, they were also in terrible field position half the time because of the offensive turnovers. But I do think that there was definitely, in my opinion, from what my eyes saw, less of a sense of urgency in the second half from the Nordic Storm. Not saying that the play calling was different, but just guys not running up to the line, instead walking up to the line. And, just a little bit more relaxed, which, is fine if you win, but if you don't win, it can bite you in the ass.
And goes back to my previous point, catch the ball. Bo had a drop touchdown wide open in the end zone. That would have put him up, I think, by 21 at that point, or if not, back up to 14 again. And then on that same possession, they turned it over or had a turnover on downs or ended up punting it or something. But there were a lot of drops for both teams. But I know I was very frustrated at the end of the game because I was slamming couches every time they dropped the ball. I left a little indent in my couch. Just kept slamming it. Shouldn't happen.
Angry.
It was 5 a.m. I woke up to watch a game at 5 a.m. Watch the whole game.
Yeah,
catch the damn ball.
You are a braver soldier than I am. I did not wake up at 5 a.m. I caught the second half.
This was the game of the week, brother. This is the game of the year.
I would like to say the game of the year was the Prague Lions versus Raiders Tirol.
I was gonna say it was the game of the year right after the game of the
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we gotta give flowers to our guys at the bottom of the standings who had one of the most incredible games I've ever seen.
Yeah, that game, I was not able to watch that one, but I wish I would have because I watched the replay and holy cow, that was wild. No show of defense, which is awesome for any sport when you can just put up 96 combined points or whatever it was, 99.
Which, I mean, I hate to say that I called it, but I did call it.
You did.
I did. I knew that neither one of these defenses has really shown anything in terms of stopping anybody. I didn't think that was going to change when they faced each other. And that was just one of those games where your biggest names made the biggest plays. Now, of course, if we had stats, I'd be able to actually talk about it more in depth. But for those of y'all who do not know, our friend Elfpedia, who normally does the stats, I was just informed from Danny, actually, that him and like 3 friends every Saturday and Sunday sit down and watch the game play by play and handwrite the stats before they code them into the website. And so this week he just wanted to enjoy the games, and I don't blame him.
Yeah. Whatever he does, good for him. It's one of the leagues. I don't care who at this point. Give him some money.
Yes, please, because now I don't have stats to talk about.
We have passing stats from Henderson, but that's it. Because
I don't even know where to find that because I'm on the EFA website.
I'm on their Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. So 23 of 35.
Okay.
354 passing yards.
Oh.
4 passing touchdowns.
Oh.
75 rushing yards. And a rushing touchdown.
Ooh-wee.
So 5 total touchdowns. What is that? Put it at 429 total yards.
Bro, that boy Hendy.
He balled out. That's the reason they signed him. He looked good.
Looked great. Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about it before I don't even think that he's looked particularly bad in the games that they've lost badly. The offensive line just can't protect him at all.
Yeah, no, he's had no time to do literally anything ever.
Like the fact that he only has 4 interceptions up to this point in the year, through 7 weeks, 6 games for Prague is impressive, honestly. To only have 4 picks with how much he's been getting beat up in these games,
No, he's been running for his life. It's the 75 rushing yards. He was still rushing for his life in this game.
Yeah, he was.
So yeah, but this game was electric. Both quarterbacks, Krajewski and Henderson, balled
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
Krajewski did have the one pick, but I don't like 9 times out of 10. That's just an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
the first one. I know he had one at the end. Don't know if he had the third one or not.
I think he only had the two.
Yeah, Borkovich diving and picking that ball this far off
2 inches off the ground.
Absurd. Like he was fully extended. What an absolute play. And then have the awareness to catch, protect, roll, get up, and run.
And take it the distance. Yeah.
Was wild.
It was. No, it was. I mean, everything about both games was great. And, I know we can only talk so much in depth about it because we don't really have any stats handy. So I will say, with how incredible these games were, spoiler, we have decided no Mr. Fiasco this week.
What?
I know. Which really upsets me because I was going to throw it to the Munich or the Nordic kicker, but
One kick.
I got outvoted in a democratic society, and
if anyone, it would have been someone on the Raiders DB room because they were both DB rooms on the Lions and Raiders were getting cooked. Almost every touchdown was like a 40-yard touchdown, which is awesome.
The Munich kicker missed 2 field goals. If he makes both of his field goals, they win that game.
You could say the same thing about the Raiders field goal kicker. He missed 2 extra points.
He sure did, didn't he?
You know what I love? We really haven't had, but it's in American sports. Prague posted a video on social media the other day, on Sunday, of their kicker just kicking field goals by himself in the stadium. That's it.
That's
and
it.
Everybody knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
It's lovely. Shit posting is so much fun, especially in a small league. Because
speaking of chippiness, there definitely was some chippiness too in both of these games that was much appreciated. And I think that you get a lot more of that whenever teams of equal calibers are facing off with one another, because we've seen. I'll shout out friend of the pod, Jaylon Clark. Jaylon Clark is a prime shit talker. I mean,
he's the most civil person off the field, but
he's an asshole when he puts on a helmet, and I love him for that. It's very entertaining. I have a great time watching him play. But there are times whenever he's playing backyard football, like we've talked about, and he's there's 20 seconds left on the clock, and they're up by 30,000 points, and he throws another touchdown. Just doesn't quite feel right when he's doing that. But whenever you've got these games that are super close and guys are barking at each other and shoving each other and getting in each other's face masks, that feels good.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. But and to go with that, Marcus, our buddy Marcus
Kintz
sent me a video on the touchdown that Bo dropped. Bo took his helmet off and slammed it into the video board.
Beautiful head of hair, by the way.
No, yeah. Marcus just happened to walk by, and his reaction, he's just like, what the heck? Then he followed it up with, there was a lot of colorful language throughout the game.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I was like, I can only imagine. I was like, I know Clark. Tunga's going to be right there with his buddy. Bo's going to be there. And then, obviously the defensive guys just love to be chippy. But back to the Prague game real quick. I need to find this guy. The guy Prague replaced or filled the spot in with Jaylon Embry. Mm-hmm. Number 3, rocking no nameplate on Saturday. He was balling out. He was all over the field. He was quick. Dakota Thomas, their new A import.
Ooh, shout out to boy Dakota.
Dude.
Damn, Dakota.
He looked good, and he is quick. So I'm excited to keep watching him. But I think even the announcers pointed out, they're like, no nameplate doesn't matter. He's playing for the name on the front of his chest because he was all over the field. Yeah. And then also shout out, I don't know how to say his name. I'm going to butcher it in American, but Matthias Billy. It's a wide receiver for Prague, but I think he had 3 touchdowns on the day. but he also balled out.
Well, you mentioning imports and whatnot. I do think that there's some exciting news that we can talk about. As exciting as these games were, again, it's hard to dive into them without stats. But something that we can dive into is the EFA developing some new rules. Maybe listening to the pod a little too much.
We might be on the same wavelength because I have that pulled up on my next screen right now.
Oh,
I was just waiting to get into it. Listen to the pod, taking a playbook from another league, maybe teach their own. But
I'd like to think that they stole it from us. That's what I'm going to say.
I agree. But the EFA approves a new competitive parity measures, not just one import clause, 2 import clauses. So basically for the lower teams, as in the teams that played Saturday, Prague and Tirol, they now get an I import slot. It is a carbon copy of the AFLE import slot if you have been looking at that. It is for players whose football development started in Canada, Mexico, Japan, or the American Samoa. So they're hoping to kind of bump up the bottom team. And I think the Lions might have had a little inside knowledge on this because as soon as the EFA posted the new measures, they already signed a dude from Mexico.
Would you looky there?
Instantly. Bringing a defensive lineman because their defensive line
needs it.
Straight ass. It is garbage.
Yeah. Well, see, to me, though, I'm like, that still doesn't fix the problem of Jaylon Henderson running for his life 24/7.
No, but it fixed your defense from giving up 44 points.
This is true. So then that way Jaylon Henderson can run for his life, and at least, when he does put up 17, you have a fighting chance.
Yeah. And in the words of our buddy Jamal, what is it? Dave Warner, since he's taken over the offensive coordinator position, has done a wonderful job. The Prague offense looks drastically different than the beginning of the year. I don't know what they've changed with Henderson and the 2 coaches, but I'm excited to watch the progression throughout the rest of the season. Maybe if Paris is still sliding, I don't know. Paris is a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
If they continue to slide, if Prague's defense steps it up a little bit, I mean, if they can get a little pressure on Edwards, he's bound to turn the ball over.
Who knows?
They could sneak a win away. Who knows?
Yeah. And, as long as they beat Raiders Tirol a second time, if they can sneak one against Paris, next thing you know, this is wide open. I love the rule. I love that it's hopefully going to add some parity again to the league. Going back to what you were talking about with Prague's offense, though, I do think that a big thing, and I didn't know that they changed offensive coordinators, but that makes a lot of sense based on what I've seen, because it seems like now we're getting a lot more disguised looks, a little bit more motion, but with Willie P, I feel like there's always been motion with Prague.
Yeah. He's just
that's the type of player that he is. So you should know how to use him. But yeah, definitely more disguised looks. There were definitely some times during the course of the game where I'm like, oh, they're going to hand it off here. And then they'd hit me with a play action. I'm like, oh, okay.
I was going to let you finish your thought because I was going to build onto it. Watching Europe over the last couple of years, and I don't know if I've said it before. Maybe I haven't. Maybe I'm late to the game. I think we have said it before, but the way to beat these defenses is misdirection.
Yeah.
And you can see Nordic doing it. I'm going to bring up their screen game again. I think Bresington released a short, or if it was in a video, basically dissecting it was Jamal on his YouTube video was dissecting the screen game that Nordic has. Because if you haven't paid attention to it, you should go watch it. It is wild. And it's almost unstoppable. But let Henderson and Willie P and Zuzelka do that. You run an RPO, run misdirection, run play actions. It's the processing of defenses in this league are not as fast as the NFL.
Yeah.
So if you have your 2 Americans that can already process faster than most of these Europeans, just because they've had
played it the whole life,
25 years of NFL, or not NFL, but football experience under their belt, use it. You brought them in for a reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But then the last import clause that they brought in is the W import. I think that's named after me, the Weber.
What'd that mean?
It's the waiver wire import. So now, this is the first time I've seen a waiver wire in Europe. Basically, instead of if a player gets cut, anyone can sign him, you have to go through a waiver wire. It's just reverse order of the standings. It's like every standard waiver wire at least in the U.S. I don't know how European waiver wires work. But, so basically if Germany cut a dude, Prague and Tirol would have a shot at making him an import over Frankfurt just going to sign him as a homegrown.
Gotcha.
I believe that is how that works.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you end up with a Vienna situation, basically, of they can sign everybody. I do like the rule changes. I just think it's too late in the season to make it matter. You have two teams that were 0-5 and now 1-5 and 0-6 or something. I don't know what their records are off the top of my head, but they're wanting to help kind of give them a shot at the Big Four. I don't think that's going to happen with one extra slot.
Yeah, and again, that's kind of what I was thinking and talking about with the whole, Prague's O-line is still just not good,
We're 2/3 of the way through the season. If you do this a quarter of the way through the season or a third of the way, maybe. And
also, and they'll need to play around with these rules to really figure out the best way to make things competitive. But I would say in the case of Prague probably needs two eyes, one for O-line, one for D-line, for them to truly become like a competitive week in, week out. They've got a shot, at least at the mid-tier teams. But yeah, I like the fact that they are willing to make the necessary changes in order to be a better league and to be more competitive across the board.
Yeah, it shows promise. Been working on a post the last couple of days about our dream scenarios, so maybe you can look into that with the roster rules and stuff. So be ready for that post.
I was about to say let's let that one ride first before we dive too deep into it.
Oh yeah, I think this post should do numbers, hopefully, but we'll find out.
Awards.
Yeah. I was like, you have anything else to talk about?
No, because it's hard. Again, it's hard without having the stats.
Munich, I just don't understand. I don't know how Munich pulled it out. It was just weird. They just didn't look like they were in the game at all. They just kept it close. I don't know. Good teams find a way to win, I guess.
Sure. And we've talked about it before. There is a non-quantitative, a qualitative statistic, if you will, a qualitative trait that certain teams have where they can just win ugly games, and that is more coaching, I think, than anything. Number one, and two, it's instincts. So it's a lot of just having the will to win. And if you are a team that possesses that qualitative trait of, hey, we're going to win an ugly game. Yeah, we might have, 15 penalties. Yeah, we might have 4 turnovers, but we're still going to win the game. That is an exceptional trait to have as a team. And that makes you incredibly dangerous. That makes you a problem.
Yeah.
It makes you a big problem. Because the fact that you were able to come back from being down 14.5 and also having, a -4 turnover ratio to the other team and still win, that's impressive.
That's impressive.
It's very impressive. But yeah, going into awards, so no Mr. Fiasco this week. We felt as though the games were just too incredible to have a Mr. Fiasco. So you know what? I will nominate myself as Mr. Fiasco. How does that sound?
Why? You picked both games.
I got both games right.
It should be me.
Did you get both games
wrong? Yeah.
Ooh, all right. Mr. Fiasco officially goes to Danny Weber.
Why did I nominate myself? Yeah, move that. I'll take a picture with the Munich jersey and then post it. We'll
Hell
see.
yeah. Please do. That would make me giggle. I think in general the guys across the league would probably laugh at that too, and be like, okay, maybe we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves when we get this award.
Yeah,
maybe we should.
But before we finish the other two awards, I want to give a shout out to the Prague kicker. We've talked shit about kickers a lot. He went 6 for 6 in extra points and went 1 for 1 in field goals. I know we talked about him shit posting a little bit, but he averaged 60 yards on a kickoff.
Look, all I'm saying is the best weapon you can have as one of these teams is an elite kicker.
Yep. Prague won the game because of it. But
show did. Should we start with unsung first?
Yeah.
Work our way backwards. Cool. Unsung it goes to Borkovich. I don't know his first name.
Alexander, I believe.
Ooh, Alexander. That's my middle name. I like that shit. Yeah, Alexander.
Let me make
Borkovich, who not only was just flying across the field, hitting the shit out of people the whole game, but also had pick six. And we talked about it. Fully laid out. Ball was maybe an inch or two off of the ground. Found a way to scoop it up before it touched grass, tucked it, rolled, got up, scored.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. And, in a game that is decided by 1 point, made a huge difference.
True.
Made a huge difference.
True.
So, AB, wherever you at, I don't know if you listen to this pod or not. I hope you do. But AB, wherever you at, we appreciate you, brethren.
All love.
Absolute gas out there.
No love. Then missed their big dog.
I mean, our big dog, Thankfully, the Nordic Storm lost, so we don't have to give it to Chadrian Clark.
Either Clark or Bo again.
Yeah, again, exactly.
You guys stop winning. Or at least if Munich win, at least Tabor do something. Oh, if we had stats, maybe Seelig, because he had a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, Seelig went kind of crazy. But yeah, so thankfully Nordic lost and Tabor threw 3 interceptions in the first half, so he wasn't going to get big dog. So our big dog is also going to another Prague Lion. Hey, Prague, we up right now. The stock is up right now in Prague, okay? One, Jaylon Henderson. Big Hendy, the hen dog.
Henderson.
What you know about Hendy, who had, I believe it was 6 total touchdowns, right?
5 tutties.
5 tutties. 4 in the air, 1 on the ground, and had over 425 yards of total offense.
Put the team on the back. He was just like...
Yeah. Put the city on his back like his jersey's on backwards.
Dude, how you were saying Garbers needs to run, that's how Henderson was running. He would just come around that line and just shoulder down and just start plowing through some guys.
Brother was running like rent was due. A great time. So, shout out Jaylon Henderson. Is this his first Big Dog Award?
I think so. I don't think maybe he won it last year, but...
because I don't remember him getting one whenever he was at Paris. Maybe he did. Maybe I'm not remembering correctly. But
I could post that won all the awards that won last year. So let's see if I can find that real quick.
But yeah, shout out Hendy. While you're looking that up, I'm gonna go ahead and move us into next week's slate of games. Just while you're fact checking me real quick. So next week, it's first game on the slate's gonna be a little lopsided. The undefeated Munich Ravens are traveling out to face Raiders Tirol. It might get a little ugly out in the Alps. It might get just a little massacre-ish out there.
It was only 58-30 last time.
I'm sorry. Didn't 2 of those touchdowns come in garbage time though for them? Shut up. Exactly. I don't have a ton of notes on this game. I think this game is going to go exactly how we think it's going to go. I'm gonna go 48-17. Actually, no, I'll go 48-24 with the thought that they're going to get a garbage time touchdown. 48-24.
I'm going Munich as well, but the Raiders need to sign an import DB fast.
Expeditiously.
They need to bring him in now.
Mm-hmm. They need to bring him in yesterday.
They should have brought him in the day they announced the rule change.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday. I don't know. Maybe.
Which was yesterday. Yeah.
But I think it's going to be probably a 17-point game, which is, garbage time.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's going to suck because then it'll be like, oh, I guess the league's not competitive anymore.
Yeah.
We just had 2 great games. Shut up.
So wait, what is your final score for the game, though?
I don't know.
You said it's a 17-point game.
Yeah. 20 to 37 seems too low.
I'm surprised you said a 17-point game.
Why?
I feel pretty good about my 48-24. Yeah. Okay. Danny doesn't have a score for this one. Our second game on the docket, though, which, Sunday, thank God it said 8 a.m. and not 5 a.m. This one should actually be a banger because if everyone remembers correctly, so Frankfurt is traveling out to Paris to play the Musketeers, and Frankfurt lost by 1 point in their own house because they did some dumb stuff.
That was just an ugly game. It was just an ugly game. That was just backyard football. And
I think this is going to be part 2 of that. I am very excited about this game.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that this is a game where we're going to see some fumbles. We're going to see some turnovers. We're going to see some hard hits. We're going to see some shit talking. And I think Frankfurt's going to get their revenge on the Musketeers. And I'm going to go 27-23 for this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going Frankfurt as well. I think Paris has not figured it out, and I think they've kind of snuck away with 3 wins against all the other bottom teams. But I'm going to say 27-24.
Ooh, 27-24.
3-point game. I think Frankfurt wins on a game-winning field goal.
Oh, how poetic that would be. Kick the damn ball. That's funny. Well, yeah, I'm just curious as to how, we've kind of done some shitting on Coach Del Rio here recently. Paris did get a bye week this past week, as did Frankfurt. So
they're both going off a bye week, so they should both be ready.
They both should be fresh. I think Paris has some serious questions that they need to answer that I think this bye will hopefully be good for, whereas I don't think that Frankfurt has quite the same questions. I think more of Frankfurt's questions is simply just how can we make our current guys better versus Paris is more of how do we stop playing super sloppy 24/7 in all 3 phases of football. So yeah, we're going to see if Coach Del Rio can kind of go against the grain of his coaching career and actually instill some discipline into these Paris Musketeers. Dog, I'm just riffing. Here's the thing: he can handle it because he had to deal with Stephen A. Smith and the likes of him and Skip Bayless for years. He's not worried about me.
Less than he's got issues.
He can handle the 4th down fiasco, guys. Yeah. Any final thoughts on that game, Danny?
They started out with having the game of the year, and let's hopefully it repeats.
Yeah, would love to see it.
Yeah,
would love to see it.
Close.
And hopefully next week we can have some stats, so our show can be a little longer. But yeah, short episode today, everybody. Whopping 35 minutes. As always, you can follow us on social media. We are at 4thdown_pod on Twitter, and we are at 4thdown fiasco on Instagram and TikTok. But this has been Danny and Jordan saying so long. We will see you next week.
Peace.
Hugs and kisses.
I want stats.